I'm gonna be honest with you. This project almost ended up in the trash. But let's start from the beginning. At the start of this month, hype about the new arcane season had been filling my home feed, but nothing really caught my attention until I saw a Blood, Sweat, and Tears music video. After watching it about 7 times, I knew I wanted to make Ambessa. Like how I start any other project, I work on her face first. I wanted to make her look as close to the animated video as possible, so putting in a little extra effort in the face was basically a must. It may already be obvious, but I used the music video as a reference for the entire project. On the 6th, I woke up with a bit of a sore throat, but not wanting to just sit around and waste time, I pushed myself to work on her face. She was looking really nice, and at this point I was motivated and excited to continue working on her. As for the sore throat, I was starting to not really feel well, but in my mind I was thinking it was just one of those one-day things. I'd be better by the next day, right? Wrong. Absolutely wrong. I was completely sick for the rest of the week, but I pushed myself to continue working. On the 9th, I started small and printed the eyes. I mixed very specific brown paints, then used my tiniest brush and dotting tool to paint the irises. I just used acrylic paint this time, so after they dried, I went straight to coating them with UV resin. And here's how her face turned out. Definitely my favorite piece of this project so far. Somewhere in the in-between time, I was able to finish sculpting the torso, which of course I modified my own file to make the body a bit more muscular. I've never sculpted this body type before, so it was definitely a challenge, but I think it came out convincing enough. Here you can see it's almost done printing, and this was on the 11th, around 11:30 at night. Right after that, I printed the upper legs, upper arms, and the arm joints. But then I ran into a problem. At this point, I was still sick and not feeling my best, and I was spending hours trying to sculpt the rest of her body, and nothing I did was working. This went on until the 15th. I got home from class, ate dinner, and spent the rest of the day going back and forth with sculpting. At around 10 o'clock, I finally had some progress with the chest plate, and I continued sculpting until 2 in the morning, then went straight to printing it afterwards. To say the least, I was feeling extremely defeated. On one hand, I was thinking, how much time will I continue to just waste if I keep going? But on the other hand, how much time would I have just wasted if I stopped? So I took a small break, got some snacks, and opened Blender again. Looking back, I now see where all the problems came from. Since at the time of recording, there are no significantly helpful Ambessa turnarounds to use for reference, I had to basically make up things on the spot, which was a nightmare to navigate because I was so much out of practice when it came to sculpting hard surfaces. I hadn't done this type of sculpting since making Darth Maul, which was a couple months ago, so to say I was a little rusty is an understatement. Once I took a minute to snap myself back into things, it became a lot easier. It's still not as cleanly done as I would have liked it to be, but considering the circumstances, I think it came together. Now we can finally start painting the rest of the body and the armor. In the music video, Ambessa has these red tattoos, so to make those, I sketch up some similar patterns in Procreate and cut some stencils out on my mom's Cricut. Under the Teapot Twins video, someone gave a super helpful tip for making this process a bit easier, so I'll repeat it here. I place the stencil where I want it and then paint one layer of the skin tone to seal in the edges. After that dries, I go in like normal, painting the color I want the tattoo to be. This reduces the chance of the paint bleeding and making your stenciled pattern come out slappy. Thanks again to the person who shared this hack. Time to tackle the armor. I used shots from the show along with this creator on Instagram, who made some amazing props by the way, as a study guide to try and mimic the arcane metal style as best I could. As for technique, I'm kinda just making it up as I go. When in doubt, just add a bunch of dramatic highlights to the edges and push more towards that animated look. Here's some of the finished pieces. Lastly, I need to do the hair. At the end of the video, she has these whitish dreadlocks, so I'm going to be using this yarn. The process is basically the same as with normal hair, only I'm extra mindful of how I'm covering the surface to avoid super visible scalp spots. The hairline took a bit of work to make it look neat, but with some carefully placed glue blobs, this is how it turned out. After a few more final details, I'm very happy to say that she is finally done. I hope you enjoyed, and like always, thanks for watching, stay sweet, and I'll see you next time.